One Piece chapter 1139. It is titled Mountain Eater. The cover page consists of two rebels that have been apprehended by Who's Who, and we can assume that it's Speed and Yamato, but at the same time Oda, when it comes to silhouettes, a lot of times they're blacked out, so it may not necessarily be them, but you guys don't really care about the cover page. Let's get into the chapter breakdown. The key hunt continues as Luffy's group are still looking for it all throughout the capital, searching, and there is no luck. The people that probably know the location of the key is probably the older giant, specifically Jarl, but obviously he's not going to tell them where the key is, especially because even just trying to free Loki is a dangerous crime. All of a sudden, Nami, she notices a red carpet. She definitely has a nose for investigating when it comes to looking for treasure. So the three of them, well, it's actually four because of Road, they enter the beat up throne room. The rubble, it looks recent, and there's a hole in the ceiling and there's a mark on the ground. And the summoning circle, it is the ones that was used by the Holy Knights. We also get a little bit more information about the magic circle. Road, he claims that in different countries that this was used to summon demons, and the first time that we were introduced to something like this was during, well, before the time skip, where Brook, he got transported to Nemakura Island. Luffy doesn't recognize it, which isn't shocking whatsoever because Luffy never pays attention to anything, but I am a little bit surprised that Zoro, he didn't recognize it because he was there, or at least he reacted to Saturn's summoning, which could just be him sensing the haki, so he may not have actually been there. But nevertheless, this happened in the last arc when the Gorosei came to Egghead. Rose specifically mentioned devil summons, and people are speculating because of this means that the Gorosei are devils. But then when Brook was summoned, is it because he has the ties to the underworld, being the Soul King? Shamrock has Cerberus, which is the guard dog of hell, which makes me wonder, does that mean that anyone associated with souls or demons can be summoned, or can anyone be summoned? Like, what prerequisites are needed to complete the summon? All of a sudden, someone calls out to Luffy and the group, they think it's a demon. It reminds me a lot of Scooby-Doo for some reason, but this is fair because, especially with the castle being a mess and there being a summoning circle here, yeah, somebody probably is lurking in the shadow. An axe is thrown in the direction of the group, and we see an old man who is sitting down with his arms crossed, the same man that was having a drink with Crocus. He is introduced as Mr. Yan. Now, typically when it comes to either my reviews or breakdowns, I like to talk about stuff in chronological order because I just think it makes sense. But for this video, I'm not going to do that. It would be a pain to do that for the entire chapter, so I'm not going to do that. This old guy, he is none other than Scopper Gaban. And I will say, compared to other old people in this series, Gaban looks terrible. He looks like Hirogoro with a beard. There's so many popular and so many older people within the story that are still relevant in the series, and it looks like they aged like fine wine, but I can confidently say that Big Mom and Gaban, they aged terribly. It's a good thing that Ripley was into him when he was younger, because it's also confirmed that they are partners and that Colin is his son. All of the three Roger pirates, oh, they pulled some baddies. Roger with Rogue, Rayleigh with Shocky, and then now confirmed Gaban with Ripley. They did their thing. I can't even hate on them. I can see why instead of chasing Emu, they chased the bad bitches. This definitely means that Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, that they're gonna settle down and get baddies once the journeys are over. And it's also crazy when you look at the giants' ages based off of this, because looking at Colin's age, apparently he's 20, which is younger than Luffy, and Ripley, she's 80, and that means she is a super MILF, not even looking a day over 25. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump about different One Piece content almost each and every day. We already know that the monster trio, they parallel the trio of the Roger Pirates, and Sanji, I can confidently say that Gaban is his parallel, because Gaban, he's a lady Hades man talking about he's the preacher of love, I can definitely see Sanji being like this whenever he gets old. Loki's stocks, oh, they're definitely up, especially with how Gaban is describing him, because we know that Shanks, he was the one to put a stop to Loki's rampage, but Gaban stated that up until this point, nobody was able to stop him. Now, this can be interpreted into two ways. Either Shanks is just that much stronger than Loki, or Loki is so strong that Shanks was the only one able to defeat him, which would probably mean you could make the argument that Loki is top 10, maybe even top 5 in the series. We'll have to wait and see, because we're definitely gonna get a flashback of the fight between these two. Now that I say that, maybe I shouldn't have guaranteed that, because we know Oda, he just loves to off-screen different things. As Gaban is still talking about and rambling as old people do about how dangerous Loki is, Luffy and Zoro, similar to how people in my generation are, it's not that they're not listening, but they're not listening. They're ready to go and still look for the key. And in doing this, Gaban, he gets a flashback to Roger, once again showcasing the similarity between Luffy and Roger. Seeing this, Gaban, he informs Ro to push the throne, and then we cut to Usopp's group. Oimo, he goes through and informs the remaining Straw Hats, or tells them a little bit of story of who Gaban is, that there was an event while Roger was recuperating. Gaban, he fought off hundreds of pirates by himself, and when the battle was over, there was not a single tree left standing, and he got the name the Mountain Eater. I can see why Ripley's so obsessed with him, because if he's an eater like that, well, why would you leave? On a serious note, the epithet, it's terrible. You mean to tell me that Rayleigh got something cool like the Dark King, but Gaban got Mountain Eater? I guess this just doubles down on how these characters parallel. What is cool is how Gaban was stated to be Roger's left hand, paralleling how Zoro and Sanji are Luffy's wings. Cutting back to Luffy's group, they entered a hidden room which led to a treasure chest room, and there's a key which we can assume this is Loki's. More Loki gas as Gaban says the prize not even the wicked are willing to take, and if they want the key, they'll have to get past Gaban, who stood shoulder to shoulder with Roger and Rayleigh. So it looks like in the next chapter, we're either going to get Luffy versus Gaban, Zoro versus Gaban, or Luffy and Zoro versus Gaban. And you could also make the argument that this scene is paralleling how Rayleigh back during Sabayoki, he held and quotes the key to freeing the different slaves. Now, because of different translations, there was a lot of talk about Sanji and Gaban and how close in terms of strength they are to Roger and Rayleigh, well, Gaban to Roger and Rayleigh, and then Sanji to Zoro and Luffy. I do plan on making a video about that later this week. I will say quick little notes that'll probably go in the video. The disrespect to both Sanji and Gaban, it's crazy acting like these two aren't strong. Well, I guess more so the slander to Sanji because he's Gaban's parallel. So acting like Sanji wasn't going to be one of the strongest characters at the end of the series is just insane to me. But like I said, a video about the trios are going to be coming out later this week, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And I also want to mention with Gaban's introduction, similar to Roger, Whitebeard, and Vegapunk, Roger is the beginning of the story, Rayleigh is the halfway point of the story, and Gaban, he marks the ending. Only 13 pages for this chapter, which is really short, but at the same time, Oda's been killing it. We got 4 chapters in a row. I don't think we've gotten this in a long time, so hey, I'm not mad at it, and it was still a fire chapter. But that's it for chapter 1139. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from me. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.